All right, and let's go get started. Howdy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sharkinbear, and welcome to the channel where today we're going to be playing some more Soulstone Survivors and making another entry into our build series. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the Arcane Weaver. This is probably one of the first classes in the game that I really truly mastered when the game originally came out, as far as like just really enjoying and had a lot of potential for taking out monsters. It was actually one of the first classes to help me progress even further into the curse difficulties around curse level 4. However, since then, I feel like maybe I've kind of fallen out of love with this character, mostly because I haven't been able to find a lot of builds. This one doesn't seem to have a lot of builds that can effectively do what I want them to do. That isn't to say there aren't any, and a matter of fact, we're going to be looking at one that's actually extremely good for the Arcane Weaver. So if you like content like this and want to see more build video guides like this, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you think of the channel. And also, I have a free Discord, or open Discord, if anybody wants to join in on there, make requests on certain builds you'd like to see, or characters you'd like to see me play. You can even request like a game that you'd want to see me play outside of this. Also, we can just become a community, and I'm looking for a community to build up, and we can play like community games, stuff like that. So in this episode, we're going to be working on with this staff right here. This staff is the Benedicto Staff of Dawn. I have it a +5. The reason why I chose this staff is because it's got crit chance, it's got area modifier, and it has multicast chance. And also, the initial skills, Sacred Orb and Celestial Retribution, really aren't bad skills. And my eyes are actually two of the better skills as far as like clearing in the early game, which is what we really want. We want to be able to get those first initial levels as fast as possible. As far as our runes go, we're going with Weapon Expert, Reroll Mastery, Material Harvest, Dash Mastery, Extended Reach. That is going to be very important for this build. We're going to be increasing our projectile range by 80% with this one. Synergetic. And then the last one is Misfortune's Embrace. So one of the real good deals with the Arcane Weaver is one of my favorite skills, and has been since the launch of the game, is Magic Missile. It's kind of like a shotgun burst of missiles that shoots out from the Arcane Weaver and dealing fragility to everything nearby. On its own, this used to absolutely destroy mobs, and coupled with Arcane Beam, it used to absolutely just like demolish everything around. Since then, I feel like maybe it's lost some power along the way, but what I realized earlier about this is that Magic Missile fires so many different projectiles. It says like 60 projectiles right here. And if you can actually get this multicast and like up your cast frequency with this, it's like basically having a shotgun mixed with an SMG, or like an LMG maybe, more like. So what we're going to do with that is we're actually going to pair that with our Misfortune's Embrace and our Synergetic to essentially just like pass on all of these debuffs right here, and then increase the power of those debuffs. And basically, between a power of passing fragility and then just like being able to wreck enemies with fragility, we're also destroying them with a whole bunch of ailments as well. I think this is going to be a build that I probably end up calling Arcane Ailments. I feel like that synergizes really well, and we're going to be using Magic Missile as our main source of dealing those out. To pair with that, we're going to try to look for Arcane Power, which increases our multicast, as well as Bloodlust, which increases our movement speed and our cast frequency. After that, it doesn't really matter so much what we grab. We can really pair this with pretty much anything. If you want to keep Sacred Orb and Sacred Orb and Celestial Retribution, you can totally do that, because the Purity debuff is really well, because I believe that does like heavy holy damage, and then does it heal you and also heals you. So this is a good way to like make sustain for yourself. If you want to throw that off and maybe grab like Arcane Beam or even grab Arcane Shield, that's very fine. Really, the key components here are Magic Missile, Arcane Power, and Bloodlust. And anything else that'll give you debuff or defensive, stuff, that works too. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and yeah, let's take it away. As always, I am playing the Scorching Valley on Curse 7, just because that is the lower modifier for properties on the enemies. Also, I am playing on the full Curse intensity, so that way you can shield the power even at the hardest difficulty. And let's jump in. So right off the bat, we're going to jump in here, and you're going to see that Sacred Orb is actually just going to straight up demolish most of these enemies. After we reach full stacks of Purity, we're going to basically do a heavy AoE that goes out around us like that. It's just going to absolutely wreck mobs. So the Arcane Weavers trait. I believe it's called Arcane Power. So essentially, whenever I kill enemies, you're going to see these blue crystals form everywhere around us. We're just going to pick these up, and it's going to fill the little orb in the middle. And once we've filled up that orb there, we'll then be able to, basically empower ourselves, getting a faster movement speed, as well as boost some of our other stats as well. So I'm actually going to wait to pick up that orb until the first tower spawns. And once that first tower spawns, we'll be good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and start picking up some additional skills here. And I'm going to go ahead and start banishing anything that we really don't want. I am looking for Bloodlust, so there goes Bloodlust. And we're going to go get Bleed on there, Magnetic, and then let's go ahead and start banishing yet again. And again, I'm actually thinking about maybe taking Arcane Beam for the Brittle. We'll see. We'll take some Doom there. Multicast is nice. And then, let's see, we're out of banishes. Let's see if we can roll. Arcane Shield could be good. I'm going to re-roll again. And whenever you apply Doom, you may also apply Burn. That's going to be really good as well. We'll go ahead and pick up this. Now we are at full Arcane Energy. And that's just going to help us surge stuff like this down. That tower is immediately down. These elites are also absolutely destroyed. And our first series of elites are up. And we already have 9 points to our name. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up as quick as possible. I'm going to go ahead and also start working on Bloodshed. I would like to see if we can get Arcane. Oh, there's our magic missile. And we're actually going to replace... No! I didn't mean to do that. Let's re-roll until we get Arcane... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I did grab it. Okay. Let's lock this into place. Take this. Take that. And then what I want to do is work on getting as much multi-crit as we can. Or multi-hit. Sorry. And Relentless is also going to be really good for us. And as soon as we start getting some multi-hit chance, you're also going to see the power of this build really start to pop off. We are already doing a crap ton of damage to these enemies, as you can see right there. With the arcane missiles, our magic missiles doing their work. All we got is Aphri down here, and at 1 minute 47 seconds, we've already killed our first 4 lords. So, very fast build once you get it online, and it doesn't take much to do so. We already have an additional 9 skill points. And we're going to take Arcane Power and replace Celestial Retribution. Celestial Retribution is good, don't get me wrong. But what it does is essentially target one area and basically comet that area. And it's okay, but it's not the best. I kind of want to lock all these down. Oh, I didn't lock... Oh, no. I forgot to lock that one down one more time. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and head up here towards the tower. We're also going to work on taking out all these Cobras right here. These elites that's causing us problems. And I actually think that maybe taking the Arcane Beam probably benefited us heavily. Just because it's applying that additional status effect of Brittle on top of the Exposed that we're getting from the Sacred Orb. And this actually might be one of the faster clear times I've done with this character. But you can see with that 80% increased projectile distance, that we're really allowed to pepper a whole side of the screen. Like, we've made an extended shotgun spread, and it's really, really nice. And just sticking up here at the top, trying to get as many enemies as we can spawn, is the best we're going to do. And the cool thing is, even if we get some shield towers in here, it's really not going to be able to do much of anything to stop us from just absolutely demolishing these enemies. I am going to go ahead and try to take these guys out, and this tower as well. Tower down, and now we can worry about the important stuff. And I don't even really care if we get hit that much, because we're still going to be absolutely demolishing these guys. Let's go ahead and lock this. Take laceration, frequency, area effect. Burn. Let's do increased potency. A lot of this is just kind of up for debate as to what you want to pick. I just feel like magnetic is probably one of the better options. Magic missile multicast is awesome. If we get any more modifiers to increase magic missile, we're also going to spend a lot of time increasing the damage of magic missile specifically. And there we go, all 4 down at 3 minutes 30 seconds. Still good clear time, and we weren't even empowered. We didn't become empowered until after that. I will say that's kind of one of the things that I don't necessarily like about being empowered by Arcane is that I feel like the crystals become fairly rare at crucial moments, and I believe they become more active when you're using arcane spells. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like most of the time that I need it, I'm not able to call on that power. So we're just going to keep on wiping these guys across the floor. As you see, we're just raking in the XP as well. I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of these crystals if I can. And I'll start working on grabbing some arcane crystals here. Mostly because we have some lords getting ready to show up, and I would love to try having myself at full power. Oh, they're already up. Apparently I touched a crystal and didn't even realize it. Let's go ahead and use some of this. Multicast, agility. We'll go ahead and do... You know, we'll do skill chain. Let's get some movement speed in here. We'll do dismemberment. Actually, I kind of want to do all these. Ooh, I kind of want to do all these. No! See, that's kind of the worst part about lock, is I wish things would stay locked until I really needed it, but, I mean, I get why. And we're just, like, absolutely demolishing these guys. And they are all down. And we're already at 12 lords at 5 minutes. Really nothing to stop us. So just keep on clearing the enemies right here. And you can just see the power of the dots. Like, the moment one of my missiles even hits one of the enemies, they immediately contract every disease known to man. Pretty awesome. And as we get stronger, as we get bigger buffs on those ailments, it's just going to make us even more of a machine. The one I would really like to see is if we can get some slow in here, we might also be able to get disarray, which will make enemies more susceptible to damage. Let's go ahead and look to see what we can get here. I would really like to see... I would really like to see something about arcane missiles, like specifically. I would like to enhance the power of that. But, not so lucky for the moment being. But we are still fine. Our potential, our damage potential is still going up every time we level up. The best benefit coming off of arcane missiles is the fragility. And we're just gonna pepper them from the side. We already lost one lord, 2 lords, 3 lords, and this guy is over here, just on the end, completely done. And one more set of lords, and we are good. Now, if you're not familiar with how Doom works, because I have been seeing some comments of people who are not sure what Doom works. So Doom is a dot that does damage over time, and if you keep on stacking that Doom, it spreads a purple bar across their health. And if the amount of Doom stacks actually exceeds, or like the damage at the end of the day is calculated and exceeds their health bar, they'll just straight up kill them outright. So that is the reason why Doom is probably one of my favorite things, because it's a damage over time that ramps up the more stacks that you have on the enemies. Let's go ahead and do some more stuff here. Multicast, Calamity, Frequency. Let's go ahead and do Skill Chain here. And I haven't really worried about my health too much, and I don't really feel like I need to. I mean, you can if you so want to. But I feel like Arcane Shield provides us a really big boost, because it is a defensive ability that explodes outwards and knocks enemies back if we were to get hit. And we're casting so fast that we're getting it back at a fairly regular rate. And we are about 50 enemies away from our last set of lords, which is really, really good. And I see my last crystal that I can pick up in order to take care of them. We did take a beefy little hit there. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. I'm going to become empowered, and then I'm also going to go ahead and use our last couple of level ups. We'll do Calamity, we'll do Magnetic. Mana Infusion's fine. And it doesn't even matter if Afraid or whatever his name is decides that he wants to do his little spinny whirlwind thing. We're still just going to absolutely demolish these guys. One more left. And there we go. 8 minutes, 32 seconds. That's an incredible time. And we're going to go ahead and Overlord 1. And just blast through this. As you can see, we didn't even take a lot of like offensive skills, and we're still able to demolish the enemies. That is just the sheer power of Magic Missile, and then spreading the ailments. Like, we have 3 defensive abilities. We have, or not offensive, like utility abilities. We have, of course, our Arcane Shield, our Arcane Power, our Bloodlust. Like, we're just really don't need a lot of offensive spells in order to make this work. Even Sacred Orb, which is probably still doing a whole bunch of damage, its biggest benefit is the fact that it's, exposing enemies, causing them to take increased damage. Do I have another crystal here I can activate for these guys? There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and take Potency, Poison, sure, why not? Ooh, Thermal Shock's gonna be good. Because if we get Thermal Shock, that means we can also apply Disarray if we're lucky enough to find it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pick up this Arcane Crystal over here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. And you saw how fast that thing died. And it's just the sheer number of multicast with the amount of bullets that Magic Missile puts out that's causing all those ailments to stack so incredibly fast. They're sitting on a Arcane Crystal I'd like to pick up. Although we could probably use that for being the final one we need before we get our next set of Lords. And all we gotta do is just backpedal around. Let's go ahead and use these before that actually starts up. Bleed, Brittle Strikes, Slow, Relentless. Ooh, that's good. Let's see. Ignition Point. Hypothermia, there we go. That's what we're looking for. And we're just going to power up all of this as much as we can. And now that we have disarray stacks in here, enemies are just going to be even deleted even faster than they were before. Like, I don't particularly care for the slow stat, but the fact that disarray comes with it, which increases the amount of damage that enemies take, is just insane. Alright, looks like we're close to our last set of, no, not our last set, the next set of lords. And I love the fact that we're able to zerg those towers down as quick as we are. Alright, let's go ahead and use this. We'll go ahead and lock this. Take this, this. Let's do some area. We'll move a little bit. Magnetic, fire, multicast, attack speed for magic missiles. And we are arcane and power right now, so we are good. Yes. All right. And now all we need is our last set of lords. No, this isn't going to be our last set. This will be the second to last set. I always overestimate. I lose track of how fast we're tearing through these enemies and what tier I'm at when it comes to the lords. Either way, we're still just absolutely chugging through them. Really what I'm looking for is just some arcane crystals. And also, one of the things I like most about this build is it's not very taxing on the game or on my PC to run. So if this isn't very taxing for me, chances are it's not going to be very taxing for you either. While we're here, let's go ahead and do some other stuff. Get some more hypothermia and some disarray. We have a tower. Shield tower just came up. Let's go ahead and delete that. And now that I finally gotten a handle of this type of build and that I wanted to do, we can see this actually has probably one of the better clear times for classes that we've played so far. It does really well with spreading ailments, for sure. And we've never been in much jeopardy of dying so far. You know, obviously, knock on wood or whatever. There could always be that one thing that takes us to low health. But I'm feeling pretty safe with this build. Like, we don't have to get in particularly close because of our extended range of our abilities. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, though. Like, even up until now, kind of lacking on the amount of arcane crystals we have on the ground. And there we go. 14 minutes, 50 seconds. Get all the way through Overlord 1 using our Arcane missile build with impacted with Arcane beam. As you can see right there, 1.1 billion damage done with Arcane missiles, 560 million with Arcane beam, Sacred Orb 148, Purity, which is the effect of having Sacred Orb and the Celestial Retribution earlier. Radiance is, actually I don't remember where Radiance came from. And then obviously Celestial Retribution, there it is. Arcane Shield does a little bit of damage because it pops. I'm not sure where Astral Safeguard comes from. But then obviously Bloodlust and Arcane Power don't do anything but empower us. So then yeah, that is the build. Let's go ahead and check out our runes once again, just so I can showcase it for you. For our runes, I took Weapon Expert, Reroll Mastery, Material Harvest, Dash Mastery, Extended Reach for the extended range on Arcane Missiles, Synergetic so we can get all of those ailments spreading on the enemies, and then Misfortune's Embrace so we can have that early start on having all of those ailments. I believe this, having the Burn, Bleed, Poison, and Doom actually helps to proc the Synergetic, because it makes those options pop up where the attacks cause them to bleed more often, poison more often, that sort of thing. And then also, of course, the weapon of choice was the Benedictus Staff of Dawn, mostly because of the fact that I feel like these two skills definitely have higher clearing potential than the other staffs. But if you have another staff of choice that you'd rather work with, you can do so. But I chose to go with this one mostly because it came with the multi-hit area and critical hit chance, whereas these over here came damage, movement, and multicast, which is fine, but you get reduced armor. This one's damage, experience, and area. This could be good on the experience front. And cast frequency, movement speed, and area is also really good, but it doesn't have the multi-hit. So that being said, if you like this content, yet again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you think of the channel. And yeah, I hope to see everyone in the next video. Later.